Bum, bum, bum. Hey, guys. Oh, man.
Here we are.
You know, we have a guest tonight. Kind of lost my train of thought, man. We get started a little bit earlier. We've got a special guest on tonight. So we'll go into those details in just a moment. It's the first half of the Dudes Like Us podcast. It's Tuesday, March 31st, 2026.
The last of the month. It is the last podcast of March.
Guess what's happening tomorrow?
Austin's birthday.
Well, my son's birthday is April Fool's Day, which is another story, which is kind of crazy. My wife calls me and she's like, "Hey, guess what's going on?" I'm like, "Yeah, right. You're not going into labor right now." Is that your mom in the background? I was like, "Whoa, what is your mom doing in our house?" I guess you are. Anyways,
that's funny.
Mr. Chuck, our producer, is on the helm today, making sure everything goes right. Dudes Like Us. I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
I am Jeff.
And I'm Mark.
And Mr. Mark Hill is our mayoral candidate for Frisco 2026. Mark's joining us tonight. We're just gonna chew the fat and just dudes like us talking about things that dudes like us do and just having fun. So we're gonna open the floor up to you. It's kind of shoot from the hip. Do you want to take a sip and hear us just kind of babble first?
Yeah, let's
Or you just want to jump right in?
Let's start with the fun part.
Yeah, the bourbon.
Yeah.
So we normally do this at the end, but let's talk about this so then we can get in some questions with Mark and wrap
Yeah, because
things
it
up.
is kind of difficult.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, why don't you start? Because you actually were gallivanting on the East Coast and were able to pick this up on one of your tours.
Well, I was in. This is one that I picked up when we were doing the Bourbon Trail. Right, my wife and I went up there. It was actually last spring break, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And this is
That is on my short list to do
Yeah.
relatively soon.
Oh, you haven't done it yet, huh?
No, I've not done
It's
it.
a lot of fun.
It is.
And
It's
this-
extensive, too, by the way.
Oh yeah, there's no way you can hit all of them.
No,
You can't.
you wouldn't want to.
You pick them and you say I'm going to be there for 2-3 days, and you go and you map it all out. That's what we did. So
if you have a helicopter, you might be able to get that done.
Yeah, that wouldn't be fun either.
potentially. But anyway, this is from Bardstown Bourbon Company. I picked this up at the time. I don't know if it still is. This was a distillery only release. It's actually signed by the distiller.
Oh.
So I don't know if that means because we're probably going to throw the bottle away. But this is the small batch stave finish. So this is a blend. I think there's 4 different bourbons in this. It actually says it on the side, and I can't read it, Chuck, so you may want to pull it up because this is in Pico font.
There you go.
Yeah, it's up on there.
Yeah, so it's 20% 4-year from Green River Distillery, which is 70% corn, 21 rye, 9 malted barley. Then you have a 26% of it is a 5-year from Bardstown themselves, which is a 70 corn, 18 rye, and 12 barley. Then you have a 48% is an 8-year from Georgia. It doesn't specify exactly from where. 80% corn, 10 rye, 5 wheat, 5 malted barley. So that's actually a 4 grain, I guess, right? When I say not specified where is what distillery.
Now, just to be clear, did you do them all?
No, then 6% of a 12-year.
Sorry.
Which is Kentucky.
He's like, no.
I think Sean's getting impatient.
Yeah,
No,
he
I
is.
was
He
just
is.
gonna remind our listeners out there that 99% of the folks out there, the people sitting at this table mostly care about that stuff, and we love it because we can really dive in there and taste some of that stuff.
We like talking.
99% of the people out there, it's difficult. They're kind of like, it was good, it was strong, it was palatable. Who knows? There's all kinds of
Well, we're
opinions
educators.
about it.
We're educators.
Yes,
Yes.
and that's what
so
this
you're
is.
saying there's a blend.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's-
it's basically a bunch of whiskey poured into a bottle.
yeah,
It's
but
a lot. It's heavy on the corn, so you can.
it's a little left. It's all the leftovers. It's kind of like one of those bar mat drinks when you were bartending from 30 years ago. 10
I
years
don't.
ago.
I don't remember seeing such detail in a blend. Usually, they don't give this kind of detail, do they? I mean, when you've got a blend like this, I mean, they're showing percentages and years and
Well,
where they came from. And
Bardstown does that.
Do they do that? Okay.
Because these, a lot of their bottles are collaborations or blends or whatever you want to call them. And they split them out like this, and they tell you what's in them.
So, a little background history. Do we want to change gears here?
Did we want to
Do we want to rate
talk
this?
about it at all?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
so, okay, right. Well,
ADD, man.
first off, okay, so you do enjoy bourbon.
I do very much.
But you're probably are you a like what level of interest like high, medium, low?
I would say medium.
Okay.
Interest in enjoying it. I don't have the knowledge base that y'all do on it, obviously.
Well, it's
Yeah,
because
I
you're probably
just-
not a loser.
And I,
right. You don't have a problem like we do,
that's like I said. So you're saying it's a blend.
Yes.
Okay.
right? So I mean, do you have a go-to? I mean, is that
Gosh, I'll drink Eagle Rare.
okay?
There you
all day
go.
long.
All right, so
All
you're
day
not a
long.
novice.
No.
All
I've
right.
got some funny stories. I mean, my brother lives in California, Southern California, and we were at a grocery store, and I was checking out, and there was at the register along the wall that here in Texas you'll see like baby formula
Oh,
and
yeah.
things like that
Yeah,
going
yeah.
on that wall. And there was a wall, and it was full of Eagle Rares.
Crazy.
You're like, I'll
and
take all of
had to
them.
be like 100 of them.
No.
And I was like, what in the world is going on here? And they were cheap. They were
Oh, yeah.
40,
Yeah.
40 $50 or something
Yep.
like
Right,
that.
that's normal. Yeah.
And it was just, and this was like 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's when Eagle Rare was actually still hard to find. In California, and there's a couple places out there, because my dad lived out in Nevada, you'd see it at gas stations.
Yeah.
And Kroger out there, and the grocery stores and Walmart, stuff like that. Here,
It's
it was
hard.
impossible
It's hard to find.
to
Yeah.
find
for
here
sure.
in Texas, at least North Texas.
Yep.
So yeah, it's California. It's different. I don't know if it's the different system, because each state has a different system on how they distribute their liquor, right? So I don't know what California has compared to anyone else.
So did somebody get you into bourbon? Were you a wine guy, and then somebody got you into bourbon, or kind of had that happen for you?
I think, no, not really. I mean, I like bourbon. I like scotch.
Okay.
There you
And
go.
so
Yeah.
I'm not, it's kind of my go-to over, if I have an option over wine, I'll go with a bourbon or a scotch.
Nice.
Well, less calories, right?
Well,
Was that one?
I don't believe so.
I think it's
don't
more
know either.
sugar in wine.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's all bad for you.
As I've
Ah, all
gotten
good.
older, wine gives me headaches.
Really?
I don't.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Does
Oh
anyone
yeah,
else say
I
that?
know my wife can't drink red wine. She'll get bad headaches.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
it the
So-
sulfates?
Especially after the
Sulfites,
third bottle.
Yeah,
It-
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Really bad headache.
She loves the taste, the smell of red wines, and she'll take a sip of mine, but that's about it, because she'll
Yeah.
get a migraine.
I like it, but it just gives me headaches where bourbon and scotch don't. So
Right?
Nice. See, that's another bonus.
It's-
Another
And we're-
benefit.
And we're starting to get into some scotches. We got a bunch of bourbon out there and whiskeys, as you see, but we're slowly getting into some scotches. We're kind of novices in the scotch front, because one of our first adventures, we were trying to find one of our first ones. There was a gentleman who was well versed in scotch, and he was like, and I was holding one. It was like an Ardbeg or something like that. And he's like, "Yeah, that tastes. How do you phrase it? It tastes like a burnt tire."
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
I was
And-
Tastes
"That's-
like a
like-
burnt
like-
tire.
like-
I love it.
yeah,
Like it was a good thing.
Well, and you get into scotches, you start getting some that are very peaty,
oh yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
like
yes.
licorice, which I cannot stand.
Right.
licorice. And
It's an
that's
acquired taste.
Just for me, I can't stand it. So if it goes on that side of the peaty scale, I'm out.
I think a lot of that has to do with just direct exposure. I mean, we felt the same way with a lot of the whiskeys that we had. We started off when we sampled some of the rye ones, or some of even the blend ones, even the bourbons, or the rye side of the bourbons. They were too astringent, and we preferred the weeded ones
They were too
because
spicy, yeah.
they're a little smooth. Yeah, they were too
Mhm.
spicy. The weeded ones were just smoother, easier to drink. And then as time kind of progressed, and we were sampling more and more, we could start picking up some of the flavors in there, and then we started gravitating towards higher proof
Right.
and in the ryes, just because they've got that different spicy flavors that kind of poke through, and the wheats are just kind of tame. They're very
Yeah.
easy. That's the point.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to have a lot of friends that share my like for bourbon.
Good.
There you go.
Even more than
Oh,
scotch.
they're
And-
fun.
And so
Yeah.
whenever we're together, and I've got a couple friends that kind of like you all have here, just have incredible variety and so
It's fun.
Yeah,
It-
those friends matter.
those
Yeah.
those are good
Yeah.
friends.
Yeah, some friends with boats, some friends with helicopters and planes, and then you get some friends with the whiskey stuff. But the whiskeys, there's some people are afraid to drink some of the higher proof stuff, but I find the higher proof, the better the taste for me.
Yeah.
And you drink it a lot slower. Like, if you pour yourself a nice big old whiskey and cola or Sprite or whatever, man, you can just pound those things. The next thing you know, you're a little bit too saucy to focus on the moment. But with these guys, I mean, really, we could sip this for an
What?
hour and then have another one.
What was this one? I think I saw
This is
ni-
94?
94.
Yeah, this is 94
Yeah,
proof.
94 proof,
Yeah.
yeah, so that's not bad.
Yeah,
bad.
it's good.
Yeah.
All right, so I mean, we can sip on this while we talk, but I want to kind of get into your story, if that's all right.
For sure.
So, okay, all right. So before you decided to run for mayor, what was your background?
So 20-year resident here in Frisco.
Okay,
Not
He's a noob
a noob. Yeah.
compared to us anyway.
So where were you prior to Frisco?
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Okay.
All right.
So
Hometown.
born and raised there?
Born and raised there. Went to A&M and came back to law school there. And
Very nice.
Nice. You're
Uh,
an Aggie.
which law
We have a
school did you go to?
St. Mary's in San Antonio.
Nice.
Very nice.
Fellow Aggie. I
There's
like
some
it.
friends that went to St. Mary's. Oh yeah, we have an Aggie here and an Aggie there. So and my
Yeah.
son and his son,
And my son.
and yeah, so there's a bunch of Aggies around.
He's graduating in a month. Yeah.
Ah,
Very
Well,
nice.
congratulations on
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
I tell people I'm not sure I could get into A&M these days.
Oh, come on.
It's-
It's a little
serious.
hard. It's a
I'm
little harder
serious.
now.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
No, I'm in the same boat.
I thought you meant as far as the costs go.
Oh,
Wow.
well,
It is
that's
tough.
probably true too. But
Yeah.
no, it's hard to get in. No, but I moved up here right out of law school.
Okay.
Literally, my first job was in Galleria area
All right.
Okay.
for a few years, and wife and I bought our first house in Frisco, not too far from here in Hillcrest Estates, which is kind of
Oh, yeah.
a couple neighborhoods
Mhm.
away. And,
Yep.
have lived here ever since. And
Nice.
So,
So you've kind of seen it grown. I think I moved in. You may have been here the longest. We moved up here in '98, so that's almost 28 years now.
That's a long time.
Yeah, and I think you were here before that. weren't you?
97. Yeah.
97.
Fall of
It's about a
97
year.
is when we bought our first house.
Yeah, so this is our second house here. We were down there off of Sonoma Valley, down there. I think it's Preston Vineyards, and we're in Preston
yeah,
Vineyards
yeah.
north here, right? So, yeah, lots of change. We've seen a lot of it, and
A lot of growth.
yeah, we're like, this is going to be a really good one because I'm getting your perspective, and we'll get into all
Yeah,
that stuff.
growth is a double-edged sword. Growth is great, but at the same time, it's, I think you got to complement growth with a functioning system to be able to get people from point
Yeah.
A to point B.
Right.
Some control, right?
That is a little frustrating. In fact, I know this is not on your plate, but these are some of the frustrations, driving down Main Street. It's just like, God bless. I mean, they put a single two-way street down there. And, to me, that's argumentative. I'm like, God bless.
Oh, downtown?
Because you're kind of like, oh, do you want to give them sidewalk space and make people
Yeah.
walk? Or
Well,
do you
it's
want to
always,
have.
it's always been one lane each way. They've just
Well, I mean, they had an
beautified it.
opportunity
well, they
to,
did have an opportunity.
to,
yes.
to correct that.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. Shelly and I were driving on it, and I was like, it's still 2 lanes.
Well, I think what
I
they're
thought the
trying to
whole point of that was to make it
no, I think,
something else.
I think what they're trying to do, and you may have some insight, is they're trying to make it a walkable downtown
Right.
area, right?
A lot
Yeah.
of people and shops and food and,
Correct.
Yeah, I would
Correct.
agree.
What's your
I
take?
mean, I would agree with that. I think we don't want, at least from my perspective, we don't want Main Street or downtown to be the star, right? I mean,
Right.
At least I don't. And I think if you increase now the duration of the traffic and the construction, that's a whole other issue. But I frankly kind of like the uniqueness of it and what it can be there.
So the
compared to-
traffic is a design deterrent.
don't you
Yeah.
think? Don't you think?
I think so.
I think
I,
that's,
I avoid it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
hard for
I mean,
me
the
not
problem
to
is
sometimes,
the
but-
problem is the railroad, right? So
Yeah.
you only have so many crossings over the railroad.
But the other thing too is when I go to the rail district or to downtown Frisco, I don't want to go to these big chain restaurants and things.
Right.
Right.
I want a different experience.
Oh yeah,
Some local,
love the mom and pop stuff.
yeah, local
and,
flair.
And it's hard to get that these days.
Yes.
And so I think we should be very intentional about trying to keep that as long as we can.
Well, I think one of the huge hurdles is the cost of Frisco these days. Of starting a mom and pop restaurant in downtown Frisco, I'm sure is not an inexpensive endeavor.
Right.
So, and we can get into some of your ideas and plans to help with that, but I want to kind of go back and let you kind of proceed on your history here and how you got here. And I know you like you said, you're a lawyer and you have a firm here in Frisco.
Yes, sir. I have a business law firm in Hall Park, and I've spent about 5 or 6 years working in the North Dallas area, but I've lived up here all but 1 year
Right.
up here. So, living up here and not having to commute downtown was a big motivator 15 years ago. And so we do only, I have a partner. We have about a dozen folks at our office now. We're growing, and I came from a big firm, and my partner and I kind of live up here, and we've worked together for over 20 years, and we just have this wonderful, our families are close.
Right.
Our kids have gotten to know one another over the years, and just been a very kind of natural thing over the years. And honestly, as Frisco has grown, our firm has kind of benefited, or our business
sure.
has, so
Of
to
course,
speak.
yeah.
Yeah, so how would you characterize the legal work that your firm does?
Business work, from everything from startups to fights and disputes.
Okay.
That's we're kind of, we consider ourselves some of the leaders in that kind of stuff. So if you have a business issue or a dispute and it's in Collin County or even Denton County, we're probably one of your top
like
options. for
like
that.
code enforcement disputes,
No,
or you talking about disputes on property
I'm
lines? and-
talking about a B2B fight or an employment
Gotcha.
fight or an investment fight or a construction fight. Two partners fighting between. One
I was going
another.
to say it's most likely internal.
There's a lot of
strife.
that. There's a lot of that. Yeah, we don't do any criminal code enforcement. We don't do
Oh,
any
I
family
see.
law. We don't do any of that. And honestly, we don't do a lot of. I mean, our clients are kind of all over the place. It's not like I would say a lot of it's North Texas, but our business is not necessarily geographically based in any kind of way.
Right. So you don't do any kind of family law like wills and trusts and stuff like that?
Not really. We refer that all out. We kind of
All right.
stay in our lane.
Because we talk, we talk about life and life changes, and we're at the age where parents and family members start passing away and all that stuff. And we had, was it last week? We were talking about just the legalities and the hurdles you have to leap to get, wills enforced.
Yeah, to get through probate and
all that stuff.
just
It's a challenge, and I think, and I went through it with my dad a couple years ago. Paul went through it. Sean's kind of dealing with some of that now, and we talk about some of these life challenges and just that you face as we go on, and that's one of them. So,
No, I've been very fortunate to kind of almost stumble into this career. I mean, I studied finance at A&M and thought I was going to be in business and
Yeah,
investments
right.
in the finance world, and I quickly realized I kind of didn't want to work behind a desk.
oh yeah,
yeah. But what poked you to go to law school?
So I had when I was on my last year at A&M, I had a job at a company called USAA in San Antonio.
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great
Yeah,
company.
familiar with it.
Great
I have
company.
that. We use
Very
them.
good company.
Was that an insurance company?
It's
It-
banking.
A little bit of
it's
everything.
Yeah.
banking, insurance.
Pretty comprehensive, yeah.
And back in the late '90s, which is when I was graduating, so dating myself here, it was it was different times. Banking was different, and finance was different, and it was just different. And but I kind of saw, it's interesting, and when you get out of school and for the first time you're getting a check, a
Mhm.
paycheck.
Right.
It was a very difficult thing because the prospect was, okay, well, go back to school for 3 more years, stop getting the paychecks, and
Right.
start giving money again. And ultimately, I'm very glad I did. But what motivated me probably more than anything was just kind of the self-reliance, the autonomy.
Right.
That
To
motivated
work
me
for yourself,
to
kind
work
of.
for yourself. yeah.
right.
Sure.
Yeah, there's nothing
That's
like
always
it.
exciting.
Yeah, there's nothing like working for yourself, having your own business or whatnot. It's kind of, because I worked in corporate, but my wife and I had a company for a little bit, and I would leave my corporate job and go there, and it was kind of liberating walking into a place going, the buck stops with me. No one's telling me what to do anymore. It fails or survives based on my wife and I. But that's a good feeling. I mean, it's kind of nerve-wracking as well.
Right.
But it's a
very-
good feeling
very
walking
nerve-wracking.
in going, no one's going to jump on my back because I didn't do something, except my wife did. But, that's not quite the same, right?
Right. So did you guys struggle at all, or was it just like
Oh, for sure.
positive from right out the gate?
No, I mean, to be truth be told, is when I talk to young lawyers, I kind of discourage them from going down that path.
Really?
Oh yeah, all the time, because my first, I don't know, 6 or 7 years, it was working nonstop, weekends, not a lot of money.
Were you ever
Uh,
an
very-
ambulance chaser, so to
No.
speak?
Nope, and that was nope, that wasn't that. Was
Hey
by
man, there's a market for it.
Oh,
I
there's
mean,
a market for it.
I'll tell you, I was very blessed in that when I was in undergrad and in law school, I basically interned or clerked at everything that I ended up not wanting to do. So I learned by process of elimination.
Of what you
of what
didn't want.
That's right. I worked for a family lawyer. I worked for a PI lawyer.
That's
I worked
that's
for
perfect.
criminal defense law. I was like, nope.
And you
Nope.
know what? That's probably good advice to give to the young lawyers, like you were saying. It's like try everything to figure out what your passion is.
And I kind of had a business degree already, and I was like, okay, so this makes more sense. So I was very intentional when I moved out of San Antonio and up here. I waited to find a firm that would give me a chance to work business cases, and
Okay.
that was by design. And I'm very happy I did that 23 years later.
Nice.
Sure.
So you had your law business. Your kids were going to school. At what time? And you jumped into onboarding onto the Frisco Independent School District, right? Experienced former Frisco ISD trustee and president.
Yep.
The Frisco Economic Development Corporation director.
Yep.
I mean, that's a good campaign background to.
How long were
To
you on
jump
the
on.
school board? How'd you get into that?
I'm still on the school board.
Oh, you're still on the school
Yeah,
board.
So I just stopped being president about a month ago.
Oh,
2 months
okay.
ago. And so,
How long were you president?
about a year.
Okay.
I would have continued, but when I decided to run for mayor, I remained a trustee, but I no longer
Gotcha.
remained as a president.
Gotcha.
But no, truth be told, when I first started getting involved locally, I got involved with a local nonprofit called the Frisco Education Foundation, or the
Mhm.
FEF.
Oh, yeah.
A
I'm familiar with them.
large institution up here. A lot of good people, a lot of good Frisco people in that organization, some of the best, and served in that for a few years. And I don't know, y'all have been here a long time, but we used to have this 5K called the Gary Burns Fun Run 5K. Well,
Yep.
I had the opportunity to chair that for a few years, and I just met a lot of fascinating people. And Sean, to answer your question, I didn't even have a kid, so my daughter's almost 7 years old right now.
Oh, wow.
So you're just flying blind and did that as an
Yeah,
opportunity, right?
I was practicing law. I had served on the Collin County Bar Association, which is kind of the lawyer and judge group up here, and was on that board and served as its president. And I was rolling off, and I was like, "What else can I do to kind of?"
You have tons of free time, huh?
What else can I do to kind of?
I got no kids. I got tons of free time.
What can I do to get engaged? And it was kind of circumstance. I met some good people there, and started giving my time there, and really enjoyed it.
I mean, you're not. That's not.
I'm
you
in a
don't get paid
relationship
for that, right?
No paid. But I'm in a relationship business. I mean, it helps to get to know people in the community and earn their trust. People don't come to me to pay a parking ticket. They come to me when they're, when there's really big issues at hand. And so you need that kind of relationship.
Yeah, there's some linear reciprocation when you meet people like that out in public and you get to know them, especially in the Frisco Independent School District. There's a lot of parents there.
Yeah, so that kind of led me to got a call one afternoon, or a couple calls, and said, "Would you consider running for the school board?" And I said, "You realize I don't have a child in the district. My daughter was like 3."
Right.
And there was a lot of tension in the district and at the board level. And
What year was this ish?
this was 3 years ago,
Okay.
3.5 years ago. And so, ultimately, sat down with the wife and said, is this something, one, that I want to give the time to, and two, can I help it? And
will you let me?
and will you let me? Yeah, it's a commitment, and not just Frisco ISD, but public education these days is a hot topic.
Oh, yeah.
On many levels.
A lot of hot opinions, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like
It's very clicky.
very clicky, very opinionated.
Yeah.
And so ultimately, we kind of pulled the trigger, won that election, and have been serving for I'm almost 3 years in now.
So is it a 3-year term? Is that
It's a
how it
3-year
works?
term.
Okay.
Yep.
And you're just not.
This term will end. I'm
Yeah.
on my final year.
Right.
So this
Right.
term will end when the mayor term begins.
Right.
Nice.
And you were ready to move on and try something different.
Yeah, I got some similar calls, truth be told, and was like, there's a lot of, we can talk about this later, there's a lot of issues going on council these days. If anybody's paying
Yeah,
attention.
we would love
we've
to get
been
into that.
If
Yeah.
anybody's paying attention. And, I just, ultimately, I think I can provide a voice there that can help calm some heads and bring some folks together that otherwise
Yeah.
can't come together. And we've kind of shown that on the school board, and the school district is already, the board has we have a good board, but the district is well built. I'll put it that way.
Right.
From parents to kids to educators and
Financing.
yeah, it's we have balanced budget this year, which I like to talk about every chance I get, and
So for sure.
so it's a lot of good stuff, and that ultimately led me to kind of make this call.
Well,
All right,
I admire the fact that you went for school board, because when my kids were in school, I was getting extremely frustrated at some aspects of their schooling.
Yeah.
And I threatened my wife. I was like, I'm going to try to get on the school board to try to impact change. I never did it.
But just the thought of doing it probably makes you feel good. I mean, there's a lot of that going around
Right.
on anything.
Well, yeah, and I thought about it a lot, and I was like, but I don't have the personality that I think is outgoing enough to be able to run any kind of political campaign.
You know what I tell people is the biggest thing you find out is you get onto these boards or councils or whatever it might be of elected officials, okay, and all good people for the thing is that they're different, and they're different in a lot of different ways. There's age differences, there's political differences, there's work or no work,
Right.
different temperaments, and so you really are jumping into a group that is so different that it's like 4-level chess. You're trying to just
trying to find common ground with everyone.
Incredibly difficult, difficult, and things that are logical to you and apparent to you are not the same to the next person, and because they have their own backgrounds and their own history to get to that point.
Sure,
and so it's a real challenge. A lot of times you step, if you're in a company, I'll give you an example, and you're working with other partners or whatever, you have a lot of like-minded issues. You usually have kind of had similar educational backgrounds or upbringings, and so there's a lot of natural things that just flow when you're on a municipal board like this, and the council's no different. The council's very much like this too. It's just got very, very different people in many ways.
Well, you mentioned some challenges on the current council. I've seen some videos. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but some of the craziness going on there. But what are some of the conflicts that you're seeing that you think you could help with?
Well, in general, set the stage. A lot of our listeners are probably not familiar with what's going on with the city council, any of those challenges that Jeff's talking about.
Sure.
Why don't you give your picture of what the current state is, what's going on, and what you bring to the picture?
In recent over the last year, or certainly in recent months, if you just watch council meetings, they're very long and they're very heated. A lot of
unnecessary banter.
Well, a lot of banter that is, inflammatory in many ways, and we can drill down into that a little bit if we absolutely have to.
No.
But my point is you also have people, both you have a lot of people from out of town,
right?
Getting involved.
You have a lot of
hold on. What does that mean?
There's people that don't live here who get to speak in front of the council.
Why is that?
I have a problem
because
with
if you put a card in, you can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that needs to
It's
be
an open
changed.
process. Yeah.
There are some there is a process there, and the process can be adjusted, and
Yeah,
there's
so,
things that it can be done. But
Can you drill into that? What are your thoughts on adjusting the process? Because there's been a lot of talk about that.
I'll have an opinion.
Yeah.
They can speak, but maybe they're prioritized under the people that are from the
The
local area.
open session is at the beginning, though.
Oh my Lord!
Yeah.
That's why it's taken so long to actually get to
The business.
the topics that you need to talk about.
but to add to this discussion is there's changes that can be made there. I mean, you have to balance the ability to provide some free speech and transparency and listen, not just constitutionally, but under Texas law, there's the rights to be critical and
Sure.
and how that, how far that goes before it becomes, to your point, banter that is completely unrelated to anything we're doing in the city is a challenge. It's not a clear line. However, there's ways to structure this kind of comment or this discourse so that you can prioritize, to your point, and that is actually a goal of mine, is to prioritize things that are on the agenda or things that are important and governance issues to our city, which is what we're there for,
Right.
so that we can kind of achieve both at the same time. That's honestly going to be probably some of the first things we have to address.
On one side of it, you're thinking, I'm kind of happy more people are getting involved and want to speak up. I mean, I'm not a proponent for people showing up from out of town wanting to talk on there because, I don't think there's room for that personally. But I'm happy that more people are wanting to show up and talk about it, because if there's one thing that we need, it's more people involved, more people to vote. What is the 10%, 20% of people
Maybe.
actually vote?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yep.
So I mean, that's part of it. I really enjoy hearing that there's more and more people. I'm wondering if these are paid actors. Not really, but it's just kind of like, what is their angle to getting up there just wasting time?
What's their incentive?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't make sense to me that you have outside influences within Frisco trying to make changes.
I worry that some of it is social media.
Correct.
It's
Some
just
of it
they're
is.
influencers trying to get likes and views and stuff like that.
I think
And
some of it is. I don't
Yeah.
know about all of it. I think some of it is.
but more so than just kind of the dysfunction of some of these city council meetings. What are the challenges of our city council? Like, is it the problems they are facing as a council, or is there problems in the council?
Are these secrets?
If they're secrets, then I don't know them. But I think you have some camps or some kind of entrenched camps in this council that cause division.
Okay.
And I think most people would agree with me on that. And some of that arises from some people being there for a very long time and some new people, and they think differently, and so what we've had is, I think, some natural, I call it kind of natural division. And I'm coming from a place of, I haven't been up there. I try to make a point of this campaign to not endorse or not take sides. My job's going to be up there to try to build some trust up there, and you don't really do that, in my opinion, by picking sides before you get there.
Sure.
And that may be proper for certain roles or certain elected positions, not for the mayor role. And especially when you're in a situation where it's already kind of hot.
Right.
And so that's definitely a passion of mine. But I think, to answer your question, I think there's just some folks that just don't get along. Doesn't mean any of them are bad. Just they come from different places and different times and different.
When you say different places, are you referring to different parts of the country or different countries, or
I think,
culturally?
Yeah, culturally and time. I mean, some people have been here a long time. Some people not been here a long time. Some people have been elected recently. Some were elected a long time ago.
And some are probably resistant to change, and some are.
I mean, let's be real. I mean, there's an influx of certain cultures that have come into Frisco that nationwide were at 3% ish, 4%, and in Frisco that is 30%. So I understand the pushback a little bit.
Yeah,
but it's kind of hard.
But if we're looking at the council, a lot of the division or the voting division or a lot of the alignment or whatever you want to call it. I mean, there's not 100% voting on any kind of council. But if you were to put them into different camps, it's not even that ethnic demographic you're talking about.
It's
really
tough.
Isn't. There's political. There's a lot of it's new members versus old members.
Well, do we have term limits for council members here?
We do.
So what's the
Amen.
length?
9 years.
9. So the longest
99 years.
90.
Just playing.
So the people that have been on the longest are coming up on 9 years, I guess.
Yes.
So they're going to be terming out.
Yes, one of them is.
Okay.
Yep. And the mayor's terming out too.
Correct.
The mayor served, 9 full term in council and then full term as mayor.
Now, is there a salary associated with these positions?
Very small.
Yeah, that's small.
Very
So
small
I mean,
stipend.
is I'm thinking even 9 years is too long.
Well,
Personally.
You're singing my song.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think at the most 5. 5 would be good.
I mean, if they have two
Get your feet
2
wet.
3-year terms, you're probably all right.
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
I
I'd be
think
okay with
that's
that.
about right.
So you've got a lot of members that have been there. I mean,
It keeps talent.
15 years.
It keeps the talent rotating in and out. Because it's up and down, up and down.
How do they stay for 15 when their terms are 9?
Well, there's one. So one of the candidates for mayor ran or held the seat for close to 9 years. Ran for a different office, lost, and has now occupied another seat for 6 or 7 of the next 9. And so,
Oh, okay. So they can't occupy a seat.
it's kind of a loophole of sorts.
Oh,
They can go to another seat.
Well, yes.
That's a problem.
At one point, yes. And so I think the city's kind of changed that over the time. But
Okay.
yes, I think the intent and the design is to have 9-year limits. And
right,
so
right.
this particular candidate is kind of a unique scenario. But yes, it's very long.
All right. So you're rolling into this situation. Let's say you become mayor, right?
You mean when I become
when
There
you
you
become
go.
mayor? Sure.
Confidence.
When
I
you
like
become
the
mayor,
confidence.
I love the confidence. Yeah. So you know what you're facing, right? You know what you're facing as a divided. Well, first off, let me ask this question: how is a divided council that are at each other's throats? How is that hurting the city, in your opinion? What, like in a material way?
Yeah.
How does that hurt the people that are with their serving?
I think it invites some of this division that we see in the city. I mean, one thing you notice when you sit on a board like that is the optics and the perception of its leadership matter on the community. You have a lot of good people. School districts the same way. You have a lot of good people that work in the institution for which you represent.
Right.
And so if you have decorum issues or you have
Bickering, pettiness.
a lot of hostility, it reflects poorly publicly to that institution. That's just a fact.
Right.
And so I actually find that to be a very, very important thing, even if it's not like a mechanical, how is it? Well, I could argue here for a lot of reasons. Maybe we're not getting the governance done we need to get done, and that could be possible.
Because they can't agree on anything.
You have.
I think it's good, and I don't like it, but at the same time, I think it's healthy to have the arguments to get it out there. I mean, this stems all the way up to the Supreme Court, where you're getting the people that are just you got to have opposing ideas and you got to argue a little bit, but for the role you're going to be playing, you're going to be the mediator essentially.
Yeah, for sure. The mayor doesn't even vote unless
Right.
Unless it's a tie, yeah.
It's a tiebreaker.
So-
Yeah.
Right.
And so you're right, and that's all the more reason to kind of go in. You need someone that can go into that seat that doesn't have all these. While I'm out campaigning, I say you doesn't have all these old political rivalries.
Right.
Kind of what I say.
Yeah, you're not in a camp.
You're not in a camp, and even if you're a good person, and I happen to have pretty decent relationships with most of the other opponents, it's just you have these old political rivalries because that's what you've done for a decade or more.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here's a reality too, and this is coming from someone who's been in politics for 2.5 years, is when you win a race, there's a loser.
Right.
And there's a group of people that aren't happy. And well, guess what happens when you do that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times?
Yeah.
You start having a lot of different groups.
There's a lot of
people.
animosity. Yeah.
Sure.
That's right. And so that I try to explain it that way because people see division or they see hostility, and I'm like, well, there's kind of an underpinning for that. It's hard to explain, but most of it's from the past.
Right. Especially depending on how you ran your campaign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if there's mudslinging and ugliness and you just think it magically goes away the moment they announce who wins,
Yeah.
and then everybody is suddenly unified underneath, it doesn't happen that way, right?
Yeah.
Very, very, very difficult. Very, very difficult.
I mean, it's easy to just stop talking about it, but it doesn't matter. It's still there. I mean,
Right.
people still are salty about it. I can't believe you said that about me.
Right.
Well, it's also you're in this to win, right? So when you don't win, there's a disappointment level there.
For sure.
And-
you invest a lot personally in this.
Yeah.
I mean, you really do. And you're right. Whether it's hostile or not, or whether it's all up, political races are naturally pretty hot, but there's just a lot of group people. And when you start stacking those groups up, guess what happens? Those groups start to then align
Yeah.
when they don't normally align because they have a common issue at hand. And we see that. And I think the city has seen that. And again, this is coming from someone who loves this city, who I live here because I enjoy it. I'm positive on this city, but I believe that to be a fact. I think that's just kind of where we're living in at the moment.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, bring up Ann Anderson, who was on the podcast. I mean, she won by 106 votes.
Mhm.
So you guys can go out there and do everything you can and do it right. And at the end of it, it's only 106 votes difference.
Super
So
close,
that's-
yeah.
That's
Voting
super crazy.
matters. Voting
It does,
matters.
and that's why it's just like
We have 106 listeners. That's what that was.
that's
Yep.
Exactly.
We pushed her over the edge.
So you're the swing vote here.
Yeah.
We are.
That's what it was.
The Swing Podcast.
See, Mark, this is going to go a long way for you.
There you go. You made a right call here.
Right.
No.
So explain to me, so the mayor doesn't vote. What influence or power outside of trying to bring the city council together, what other duties or influence does a mayor have here in Frisco?
And what's your strategy?
Yeah, you're kind of the voice of the city and the council in many ways. Publicly, that is true. You are there to help, and to answer your question as to what I do. I mean, I think the role more than anything is not there just to hold a tie-breaking vote. The role there is to try to build some level of consensus so that you can get good things done. And we see that. We've seen that on the school board many, many times,
Mhm.
from budget to We closed a school for the first time in forever.
Staley?
Staley,
Yeah.
and which was a difficult decision. But your job there is really to build consensus. That doesn't mean have everybody agree 100% on everything.
Sure.
But it does mean trying to find out what matters to certain other elected officials and seeing where there's some common ground to be had, seeing where there's some persuasion that can stick, and trying to build that consensus that the community is better for that. That's how you make better decisions.
Right.
And Sean, to your point earlier, I value conflict. I value
Debate.
debate.
Yeah, it is valuable.
Greatly.
It really is.
Greatly. I mean, if you don't have that, you miss things. You miss.
It's because it's important to somebody, and if there wasn't an argument there, you wouldn't know that it's important to somebody. So, regardless, you're going to make somebody upset. So, understanding why the other person's angry, even if you disagree with them, I think is important, and it's a good quality of a mayor.
For sure, and also being able to take that disagreement and not take it in a positive or constructive way. Meaning, you and I disagree on something. All of a sudden, we are just completely incompatible on this subject. Well, it's like, no, that's not really helping the situation here. And so,
Right.
being able to take that and find out where that leads us, and sometimes it does lead to a conclusion where we're just not going to be able to agree at all on this particular topic. Okay. However, I have seen, even on very, very difficult topics, that is mostly not the case.
Right.
And
There's always some form of compromise,
that
right?
requires some skill, a lot of patience, and some intent to be collaborative. And that sometimes in politics, that's a rare thing to find.
It's my way or no way kind of a thing, and unfortunately, what I see these days. So, as a mayor, how impactful would you be in the direction of the city? The city plan. I know there's a city planner and all that stuff, but the direction that the city wants to move in, whether that's continued growth or slowed growth or whatever it looks like, how much influence and control does the mayor have? Is that kind of done at the city council, and you're pulling all these ideas together, or you have an idea and you can push that idea on the city council?
I think you've seen over the history of the city some different takes on that exact issue. Every mayor kind of handles it a little differently. Some are a little bit more taking a step back and collaborative. Some are a little bit more forward-facing. Sometimes that's the sign of the times and what's needed.
Kind of like the Hooters.
It is closed, by the way.
They just shut down. But you know what? There was a business decision that was made, and it just kind of worked itself out.
Oh, I thought you meant bringing Hooters into the city.
Oh.
Well, no, that's what I
that
was
was-
referring to.
yeah, that
Yeah,
was-
when we brought the
That's a fun
Frisco-
story.
Mark's like, oh no.
I was trying to figure out where that's coming from, but no, I think there's no doubt that the mayor is not there to kind of manage everything and micro everything. That's not my design at all. That's not my desire at all. I think you have a council that's been elected. Your job is to try to help them build consensus on things that matter to them and that can improve this city on everything. I mean, we can talk all the different issues, from traffic to development to education to whatever.
How are you possibly going to control the traffic?
I know.
Well,
Hover cars.
Is it hover cars?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something on
Blankers.
traffic that might surprise you. There are really two different thoughts of traffic in this city. Number one, there's a group of people that have moved into this city in the last 4 to 6, 5 to 7 years that think the traffic in Frisco is nothing.
Okay.
I mean, they have come from Chicago.
Right.
They have come from L.A.
L.A.
And this is not an insignificant portion of this city.
Right.
It may not be the majority, but it is.
So they think it's not a problem at all. This is wonderful.
They come here and they think it's
It's supposed to take an hour to 4 miles.
well, it used to take them 3.
Yeah. Well, that point taken.
And so I'm just telling you, look, I don't come from that background to have that view, but it's something that has surprised me through this process. Is that when I start talking about it, I see people starting to check out, and I'm like, what's going on here? And
Yeah,
they're
this
like,
is not a hot
I came
topic
from
for you,
LA.
apparently.
I came
Yeah.
from Chicago. I came from Boston, and it took me, 2.5 hours to drive home every day. It's just part of their life.
Right.
And
Hmm.
and so there is a not insignificant segment of this community, across multiple demographics. It's just people. If you're here from out of state in the last 5 to 7 years, which there is a good chunk of them here,
You're okay.
You kind of have a different view on it. Now, the people that have been here, like I think all of us
Like
here,
us.
Everybody in this room. Yeah.
I personally think it's very unreasonable. Personally, I think it's unreasonable.
Because of what we come from, right? I mean, where we saw it in the beginning when it was La Hacienda and a 1-lane, 2-lane road.
Yeah, but just
Oh.
but you know what? I was running a little low with 94 proof.
I think Mark has a great point. If you come here from LA or like we have been here so long, we remember.
Yes, it's
what it
all
was
about
like.
perspective.
And our perspective is I liked it when there were a lot less cars.
When I was
on
the
road.
only car here.
Yeah,
So
I could go down Coit.
I'll
in
make
a
an
minute.
analogy. Okay, when we
Go for
first moved up here, we'd shoot up the Dallas North Tollway. All right, and right around Lebanon-ish, it stopped.
Yep.
And that was it. Then you hit the access road, and once you hit that access road, God bless, you're committed. That's it. You're done. It's going to take a long time. My point by bringing that up is, to me, that was the traffic. So when that pipeline opened up to the north, and it just eliminated 30 minutes off of my trip from wherever I was at back home. Man, I don't know. I can't get on board with the congestion up here.
Okay, but back then, where did you have to go to drive to get that bottle of bourbon?
I understand
where did you have to go?
I understand
to get your groceries?
the opposite of it.
Right.
But the point is that we're set in our ways, and it's just I don't like to see it. But we are growing, and I get it. And sometimes these are growing pains. But I can't. You can't be human if you give a little pushback and say, I don't like this, and I don't like it. So it's not a matter of eliminating the cars because you can't.
Well,
but how are we going to manage it? Because that's kind of what the campaign is. How are you going to manage traffic?
Well, and you have to think about this as well, right? So I go north a lot, right? Riding motorcycles with a friend and stuff, and I see all the extras that are coming. And all those people, all those subdivisions and apartment complexes in Salina and Prosper and Gunter, and it just goes, they have nowhere to go but south.
Yeah.
So, and that's outside of Frisco. I understand that.
To be very clear, I don't like the traffic either.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. I made career decisions
Right.
10, 12 years ago to not work downtown because I didn't want to sit on a tollway
Exactly.
driving 1 hour each way.
I could always put our rollerblades back on,
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. What could go wrong there?
But you have, we have a city that's almost 250,000 people.
That's
Right.
big. It's
right?
growing
This
too.
is not 50,000 person town anymore.
Not anymore.
I have a follow-up question. Sorry. Yes, we have to go to a different city to get our liquor. So,
Look at that.
You have any thoughts on that?
Well, that's a complicated process because
We
to
have
get
two
beer and
counties.
wine was it was an act of Congress,
Yeah.
literally. I mean, Texas.
I drove many times down. So coming from, I guess, this area, we drove down the access road down 121 down to
Colony,
the Colony.
Goody.
and
Yeah.
what was
Oh,
it?
yeah.
What
Goody.
was it?
Colony.
Goody.
Yeah.
Addison.
Addison was the other one.
Many
Yeah.
times.
I think the challenge comes because Frisco's
Wilhelm.
in 2 counties, right?
That's
Yep.
So that's problematic.
That's exactly right. And they had to pass
Well, I only
special
care-
legislation
You know what's interesting?
for Frisco.
I only care about Colin. So
Yeah.
There you go.
I'll tell you, I live on the far east side, and this shocked me. I live on the far east side and on Custer, on the Frisco-McKinney border. So I live on the Frisco side of Custer, just north of Maine, and they're putting a specs
Yep, they are.
on Custer, in the middle of the road, in the middle of in between. It's not at
In
an
between-
intersection. It's not on a highway.
It's in between. Is it Main
Maine
Main
and
Street
El Dorado.
and El Dorado,
And
yeah.
It's on the McKinney side.
on the McKinney
Yeah,
side. That
it's right-
matters.
Yeah,
But it's right across the street for you.
it's right across the street from me.
That's way too convenient.
But it's exactly. It's like that's one I can rollerblade over to.
Ah, well, golf cart.
So the
whatever.
difference is McKinney resides entirely within Collin County.
Yes,
And that's why they're able to sell liquor.
Same with Plano. In reality,
Frisco cannot because we're represented by Collin and Denton.
in reality,
And we have to vote for that.
is driving 5 miles to Total Wine really that
It's
Bad.
devastating.
you want it to be a
Look,
mile or less? or-
it used to
we
bother me.
But we lose a lot of tax revenue.
True.
A
Correct.
tremendous amount of tax revenue
Yes.
because of a simple rule that we haven't put on a referendum or a vote to say we want to be able to sell liquor in Frisco.
Correct.
Well, I have not made that part of my campaign platform at this time.
Well,
But it is
well,
it's definitely
hey.
something we can. I always tell people I can be persuaded.
So when you win
Yeah.
the mayorship, is there going to be a parade? Do they have a parade for that?
No,
No.
Is there a parade ever in downtown?
Are you going to
Frisco?
Sure.
start? Are you going to
Yeah.
start a mayoral parade?
you know there is.
Is that your
you-
first act of office?
You know, we've had annually this Veterans Day parade that runs down Main Street.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
we've had that for years.
I've
the
never
football,
been to
football
that.
teams, because Brandon, they have, each school has a float, and all the football team and the cheerleaders
We-
ride on it.
We'd love to announce it. Yeah, we'll get out there.
absolutely. You know, I think
I've never been to that. That's sad. I've been here forever. I've been here longer than you guys, and I've never even been to.
in recent years, because of
parade.
Main Street construction and whatnot, they moved it 2 years ago to Rough Riders, and last year it was in Hall Park area, and it's not the same. I mean,
Yeah, it's not quite going to the road.
no,
and,
it's
you
not
know.
the same. But
I mean-
we're gonna bring that back.
There
to,
you go.
to Main Street.
So we used to own a business in downtown McKinney, and right in the square, and they had all kinds of parades down there. I always thought it was such a great environment down there, and I always wished Frisco would do that. Of course, they've got a little square down there. We've
I
got.
think they're trying. It won't be the same, but I think they're trying
I hope so.
to get that.
That's a small town feel.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think all that construction on that new street, I think that's what they're trying to. They're not going to have the
And you're-
square, but they're going to have that strip or whatever you want to call it.
And you're streamlining that because we've got the soccer event that's going to be happening. What, 2 years?
No, that's the summer.
It's this
It's-
summer.
oh
It's
my
coming.
gosh, that's
In
right.
fact- in fact,
Well, that's why
it's-
they were, to your point, they were expediting, right?
Oh man,
They were expediting the construction of that
In
to lead up to that.
You want some breaking news?
Ooh, we're all about that.
I think I know who's coming to Frisco.
Oh, do tell Poland, please. Please,
Sweden.
people. Oh,
Sweden.
oh
So
sweet.
that's going
huh?
to be
Sweden. The home campus for Sweden.
Sweet home campus for Sweden. I don't think it's officially confirmed just yet, but it sure looks like that. We've got there was a, and don't ask me what the terminology is, but over in Europe they have certain brackets and groupings, and it came down to Sweden and Poland. And my understanding, and I've been a little busy today, but my understanding is Sweden won.
Outstanding.
and will likely be the host team for here in Frisco.
Now, I don't know a whole lot about soccer, football. Is
Football.
Sweden a good team? I don't know.
Uh,
Are they at the top? The echelon kind
Well,
of
the
thing.
qualifying updates: Sweden and Turkey have officially secured their spots, while Italy was eliminated in a stunning shootout loss. And the host
Wow.
city preparation concerns have been raised regarding security and immigration enforcement near the U.S. host venues and advocacy for groups calling for an ice truce through the tournament. What the heck?
course.
Yes,
That's
that's
so silly.
I know that's something that has come up quite a bit.
That-
Remember, foreign countries are not happy with the news they're hearing out of the United States about the whole ICE thing, and that has
Well,
bled over into non-political things. But we don't have to necessarily touch on that.
So,
but
when you do become mayor, do they give you complimentary lunches over at Babe's Chicken?
that is a very interesting question,
that-
Sean.
I will.
You'll have that-
I don't know that answer, but I'll find out.
That'll be your second
I will-
act
I
as
will-
mayor.
I will test that.
He's added that to the platform.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
There will be
So-
a parade for me, and I get free Babe's chicken. That's the first two things out of your mouth, right?
It's the first Monday of every month, I think.
You know, you want to talk about traffic, though. I suspect we're going to see it in a big way come this World Cup thing.
Well, the
Oh,
World
yeah.
Cup plus the Universal Studios opens up
Yes.
this summer as well.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
There
You
is.
know, it's almost like you want to buy another house and use your house as a B&B.
I think some folks are doing that.
No, our HOA, you can't.
Yeah, some you can't.
We tried to pass it, but we didn't get enough people to vote on it,
We
Can't
need to
do
pass it.
for or against.
I
Can't
think
do
we
short-term rentals.
just need to freaking knock it out. I mean, I was our HOA president for over a decade, and I had to swindle some schmuck to take over it. Oh, hey, Chuck.
yeah, hey,
Ah,
that's
there
right.
he is.
That-
Hey,
that's-
here's the new one right
I'm
there.
I'm sitting right here, Sean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
Chuck took over it for Fairfield Estates. It was, thank God, God bless. It was one of those things. It's just kind of a thankless job because it's just like any other position. It's just like people are beating you up on both sides. It's like, why didn't you use,
Oh yeah, you can never make everybody happy. Yeah,
So,
for sure.
what category or group is the U.S. in? I imagine the U.S. qualified.
Are
Was
you
it
regarding
did.
soccer?
They did. We're Group D.
Group D. Now, does the host country automatically qualify? Because that would suck if the U.S. team didn't qualify.
You know what? I think we did. Do you remember when Trump Trump was.
Well, I
they
know
had
he
the
qualified.
balls, and they were talking about who's
yes.
in the World Cup, and everybody was laughing because he knew that the U.S. was in. I think
So was that schedule you were showing? Is that already like the dates they're playing one another? and everything?
Believe
sure
so,
looks
yeah.
like it.
Wow.
June 21st is when it's. Oh no, it starts earlier than
Oh,
that.
earlier, yeah.
Good Lord.
June
June
11th.
Yeah, look
Well,
at
it
that.
says
We'll be out of
7
town.
It says 72
Mexico
days.
City, Toronto, Los Angeles. So nothing here.
Where's the
There's
first-
Dallas right there. June
Dallas
14th.
Stadium.
We'll be in California for that.
Netherlands and Japan? That's interesting.
Oof, man, that's coming up soon. We got to
That
make our
is.
reservations.
I know we do. I've been saying that for weeks.
So, but Sweden's going to be here. I imagine they're going to have open practice where you can buy tickets to go watch them practice and stuff like that.
I'm
Yeah,
going to watch it on
there's-
TV.
There's
I'm
going to
not-
be opportunity for it, but every indication I'm getting is there's going to be an influx of people like we haven't really seen.
Oh yeah,
So
Yes.
You
Oh,
know,
this is World Cup is huge.
this is
Yeah.
huge. We're going to have a bunch of Swedes.
Where are these people going to stay?
Motel 6.
At your house.
No, man.
You're
God.
full.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm capped out. I'll especially in the middle of summer. God bless. It's gonna be hot out there. It's
yeah,
just,
the Swedes
kinds
are
of-
not going to be used to that at
Oh
all.
no, they're not at all.
well, I'm kind of curious to see how the whole thing functions. I mean,
what is the drink of choice in Sweden? Do y'all know?
Floki? No, that's
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 Iceland.
Iceland.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about their whiskey.
Sweden.
Sweden has vodka. You know, I don't think they really have a selection of.
Why don't you look that up for us? What's the
national drink in
the
Sweden.
national drink of Sweden?
National alcoholic drink.
Are you sure it's not gin?
I don't think it's gin. I think it's vodka.
What's your guess, Mark?
I,
I think it's some herbal liquor.
Herbal liquor. So is it 43?
I don't
Like a
know if
cordial?
I don't know if it's vodka. Why would it be vodka?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just guessing.
See, it's Brimavin.
Oh, see, we should have had that. It's made with potatoes.
That's
Well,
vodka.
that's
Seasoned
kinda
with
like vodka,
herbs.
yeah.
See, it's an herbal.
Oh, look at you.
Yes.
Oh, a burn wine.
Hold on. Why you guys?
That's like
Wh-
Paul
what am
waking
I-
up early on a Sunday morning. He's got
Oh.
this. Oh, I got some burn wine.
No, that's never happened.
Aquavit is a
Oh, it's
subtype.
absolute vodka.
Popular.
Well,
brand.
there you go.
Popular brands. Okay.
Well, that region,
And-
you know,
and Klug.
it's
Glug.
you know,
I
they
would think it's cold.
pride
and you would
themselves
want
with
something, you know.
potato vodka a lot. You know, you got Polish, and there's a lot of potato as opposed to grain vodka.
Interesting.
No, at least that's what I was.
They
I
have,
used
a,
to
they
think.
have a bunch of funny characters. The A with the two dots and the
The Umalot.
yeah. I find those confusing.
the Ubalot. Is that what it really is?
The Umalot.
Shut
yeah.
up! It is
Jeff,
not.
Jeff,
He's weird.
I mean, look, it's great that he could do that, but he's like the Cliff Clavin of
Yes.
freaking vocabulary. And
Yes.
Sean, you lived in Germany. You should know
I
what
know.
an umlaut is.
I know what it is, and I know how to say it, but I don't know what it's called. I mean, what the heck, man?
Yeah.
Well, one of them is this often consumed in a single gulp.
Mm.
That's a
The-
shot.
It's called a shot.
Yeah.
It's a really stupid way to say a shot.
No.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't know. It doesn't look like a lot of their drinks would. I wouldn't be moving to Sweden for their alcoholic beverages.
No.
Yeah.
I'd bring my bourbon with me. Yeah.
So what's the schedule going to be like? I mean, kind of loosely speaking, with the let's say you get mayor, and I mean, are you going to take weekends off? Is there a vacation? I mean,
Or
I
are
don't
you
know.
on full
I
time
have
until
it.
the end?
I have a vacation planned already, regardless of what happens.
yeah.
You going to
Or-
Sweden?
No, I'm going to Costa Rica.
During the
Oh,
ice storm.
nice and
Okay.
pretty.
And
Nice.
During the ice storm.
and shortly after, in June.
What, like
after-
Ted Cruz? you're gonna wait until like everybody's like miserable, and they're gonna see the mayor's going through the airport, going to Costa Rica. Oh, that's cool.
That's right. No,
That's so silly.
one thing we haven't talked about yet is if one of the candidates doesn't get 50% plus one vote, there's going to be a runoff.
A runoff.
There's going to be
Yeah.
a second election,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's going to be in early June, about a month later.
Hmm.
And so
Right when all the traffic
That's-
hits.
that I think is a high likelihood in this particular race. And
Yeah. How many candidates? Was there 5?
It's 4.
Four?
There's 4. Okay.
4. There's
And somebody has to get at least 51%.
John
Fif-
Keating,
50
Rod Vilhauer, and
Shauna Saul
Shauna
yeah,
Sowell.
Shauna Sowell.
and Mark.
50% plus one vote.
Okay.
And
Okay.
That's, I guess,
Okay.
feasible, but very unlikely.
Walk us through the schedule again. All right. When does everything start? When is the election again?
Early voting is it's April 20th. So
April
that's
20th.
Less than 3 weeks away.
3 weeks away.
It's
Okay.
my
And
son's
I heard-
birthday.
I heard you can't vote on the 21st for some reason.
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
I heard that there was a holiday in maybe Denton or I think there is one of the days. I don't have it in front of me, but it's a holiday of some kind. It maybe San Jacinto Day or
Yeah,
something
the
like that.
21st.
Oh, San
Yeah.
Jacinto Day. We'll be at 1845.
That's
Oh
right.
yeah, 1845 Distillery in Lowry Crossing.
Yes.
Very cool.
But if you're into like fantastic whiskeys,
Is that some party I'm not aware of?
We
oh
went
yeah,
to
we
it-
didn't
we
didn't
went to
invite
it
you
last
guys.
year.
Oh.
You went. They had the
Oh.
barbershop quartet singing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're doing that again?
Yes,
Oh good.
because she asked if
Am I invited?
They were singing Motown Philly, remember?
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Oh
sorry.
yeah.
Boom,
So,
da,
so you
da.
have roughly a week.
Yeah.
You have roughly a week of early voting.
That was actually pretty good.
Thank you.
He's been practicing. You have a roughly a week of early voting, the 20th through the 28th. Then you take 3 days off. Then the general election is Saturday on May 2nd.
That's
a
right.
Saturday.
I wonder what the probability. You know what? I meant to ask this earlier. Are you guys going to have a debate at all?
We've already had 3.
Jesus,
See
where
how
the heck have I been at?
We're so disconnected. Why is
Why
that?
did we not know that?
We've got a couple more coming up. There's a pretty good size one, I guess.
Are they televised online or at least?
They're probably
Some of them
online.
will be. The ones upcoming will be. There, there's one held right here, or I should say, the chamber puts one on around the middle of the month. I don't have the date in front of me, but it's middle of the month.
I would like to know more about that. So, I mean, are the debates going to be on your social media?
Yes, if they're not, yes, they will be.
Because
I think it better.
Especially the ones that are public. So a couple of the debates have been, a couple have been public. Some of the debates are more focused towards certain communities. Like we had one in the Frisco Lakes community, or we had one for a luncheon that's for like a business community. And so,
Right.
Yeah,
So not a public forum type of thing.
but we do have some later. Well, I guess middle of April that are, the chamber holds one right by City Hall in Grace Church right there.
Yeah,
and
the
Right.
Chambers is April 11th.
I want to see you guys out there answering the questions and really revealing your true mettle and just seeing what it's all about. And they start asking you those difficult questions. I mean, we're not going to poke you here. We want to provide support. We want to make sure that we just want to get to know you.
Yeah.
And the listeners to the podcast and the Frisco people want to, who is Mark Hill?
Yeah.
And that I'm really glad that you joined us here tonight. We got a second half. I hope you stick around. We've got another, I guess, 10, 15 minutes left.
Got about 10.
10 minutes left.
So how did you feel those debates went? The 3 that's already happened?
I thought they went well.
Yeah.
I agree with the sentiment. These debates help in these local elections. It gives people an opportunity to just hear the person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get bombarded with these yard signs all over the roads,
yeah.
and social media, this and mail, or people knocking on doors and things like that. But you don't really get to see or hear the people, and that can really move your voice, your voice, your vote.
Right.
That can really move. Once you see or hear a person, you can look at their mailer, or their sign, and you can say, when you hear that person, you're like, man, I'm not voting for that person.
Right.
Right.
I can't envision that person being the mayor of this growing city. And
Right.
so I think the debates in this particular case are very helpful for that.
Yeah.
Sure.
I think
I'm looking forward to it.
area of improvement, not necessarily in yours, is word of how do you get the word out that there's a debate? Like we said, we was like,
Yeah,
there's
because we would
someone out
have
there.
watched it, and it's frankly
Yeah.
it's a little frustrating.
Yeah.
Just the whole thing is just
Yeah. Why are we not connected? Where should people who live in Frisco, where should they get their information about this kind of stuff?
Well, I do have like about 1,000 signs around this community. So
No, I mean like events that are coming up.
So,
like
but
debates
I
and
guess
stuff like
what the
that.
first thing you
not
can
just
do
with mayor, but
yeah.
across the board.
Across
It's
the
just,
board.
the city posts some things, but to your point, it's not comprehensive, and
Mhm.
you just kind of have to be I think, invested a little bit in knowing that there's an election coming. Like what I would do probably is, if I wasn't running, I'd probably say, I know there's an election coming at the end of April and May. Who the heck's running, and
Right.
and where they're going to be?
Go out
I
there
mean-
and proactively look for things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
if
Yeah.
I were running for mayor, I mean, I'm not putting this all on your shoulders, but if I were running for any office, I would want my stuff out there. Meaning, I would want everyone to know, hey, look, this is going to be on TV.
Yeah,
This is going to be on
over-communicate,
YouTube
right?
Live. It needs to be out there, and frankly, I think they do it on purpose to keep people ignorant.
Well, but here's the thing: some of these forums,
I don't know if they do it on purpose, but sometimes
some of
I
these
believe
forums
that.
are, if you're at a community and they're hosting a debate,
Right.
This isn't like a presidential debate where it's on all 3 networks or whatever.
Right.
The country's, this is a community in the city, neighborhood.
But it's a big deal.
I don't disagree with that. I just, you have a neighborhood that wants to host something.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
not
yeah.
going to go out and broadcast it to the entire city to come there.
That's true.
That's not
That's
their
true.
purpose. That's not their design.
I think I'm thinking of the presidential and all those debates where it's like there's access to them, and here you're it's more focused debates, like you said, to a community. There are some Chamber of Commerce ones, but
I think there needs to be 2 major ones.
Yeah.
2 major ones. I mean,
Right.
you can have all the peripheral debates, but I think there should be 2 major ones put on by the city. And I think they should be televised. I mean, they have
and the
websites.
chamber one is. The
Yeah.
chamber one streams.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they need to plug the hell out of it and make sure that everybody knows about it, because getting to know you is way easier here by obviously talking to you and hearing you than just by the word of mouth, because people say stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't believe you. I don't believe anything anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, the internet is just saucy stupid.
it's all AI.
Yeah. It's just
All right, you got some events coming up. You're throwing out the first pitch. How's your fastball?
I am throwing out the
on April 8th.
Boy.
Yeah.
next week.
That's one way to blow your campaign right there.
Yeah.
You better make it to the
Is that
Jesus.
opening night?
Is that my website?
Have you been
Yeah,
practicing?
that's the event's website.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
Mark Hill for mayor.com.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm throwing out the first pitch. I have been practicing.
Really?
Split finger fastball.
Now the question.
I would go with the big curve.
So the question becomes: Is it better to throw a strike, or is it better to just nail the person out 30 yards
Nail
away?
the cameraman.
You wanna knock the
you'll get
mascot
more
down.
views.
You
if
get more views.
You're going to nail the moose mascot.
Oh,
Yeah.
just
Knock the
lob it.
mascot down. That's my vote.
We don't put a lot of our events online because I don't really want my opponents knowing what I'm doing every night. So some of
Keep
that's by
'em
design.
guessing, huh?
But some of these more public ones we definitely put online. So,
I think it's great. I think the more exposed out there to the people, the better.
Yeah.
But I get it. There's some more personal things, and based on my conversation with you the last night, you guys are busy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we got a ton more
double
questions.
booking all the time.
Ton more questions for you, but obviously the music means we're wrapping the first part up here, the first half.
Yeah,
But you're sticking around for the second half?
Absolutely.
Oh, very cool.
All right, guys, it's the thank you, Mr. Chuck, our producer, staying on top of things for the first half of the Dudes Like Us podcast. Check us out on Instagram. Check us out on Facebook. We got Dudes Like Us podcast. We're on all the RSS.com/Dudes Like Us podcast. We're kind of a big deal.
Huge.
Yeah, I mean, I like to tell people that, but
We're not running for mayor, but we're still a big, huge deal.
Dudes Like Us, I'm Sean.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mark.